This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
The first female Arab to compete in motorsport in F4 and F3, claiming her first podium win at the F4 UAE race during the F1 GP in 2019. And you know what? That's just the start of it. The first female to take part in Formula E test in Riyadh in 2018. I'm going to ask her what it feels like to be a trendsetter. I'm going to ask her how does she stay fit physically and mentally. Also, what does it take to become an F3 driver? That and more on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95.
This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. And finally, it's that time that I bring this next guest on. I told you a little bit about her during the break, and she is here live in the studio. Amna, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm a big fan and a big supporter of what you do. I have to say this to everyone who's listening because they don't know that I tried to reach out to you a couple of years ago. And I've been monitoring the success and everything great that you've been doing. Firstly, before we start, congratulations, man, on all the stuff you've been doing. It is amazing. I told the listeners a little bit about it before you came on. But what I want to ask you is, how does it feel to be a trendsetter?
First of all, thank you for having me here.
My pleasure.
About messaging me, I actually didn't know because I had a lot of messages.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was after my first win.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. And I'm not surprised. Now it's even harder to get through to you. Because since then, mashallah, you've won. But I think also you've grown as a person, right?
Yeah.
How has these last couple of years been for you?
So these last couple years, of course, after my win, there was the pandemic, and it was really difficult to find sponsors as, lots of companies were losing money. So I learned how to, be accepting towards things and, try to redirect my focus on sports, on my studies, and I started to finally go into university. I used to take gap years, but that's when I actually focused on university, and that's when I started to mature more and more by the years.
How do you balance uni, studies, racing, how do you balance all that?
Thankfully, after the pandemic, studies were all online, and it was much easier to balance. So when I'm on track, I just have my laptop and I'm in class. I can do my work all online and everything. So it was much simpler to balance. But before it was much harder as I was always absent during classes. So my grades would immediately go down because absence is very crucial in university. But now they're more understanding. They know what I do. And it's all about understanding.
And something else we need to tell the listeners is you come from a racing family. So your dad, mashallah alayh, he started it all off and was the first to feature in a 24-hour race in France. That's Amna Al Qubaisi.
Yes.
Is that right? And your sister as well is a racer as well. How do you grow into this family of races?
So before it was the entire family, including my brothers. My mom was the only one left out.
Okay.
So it was the entire family, and we would go all on race weekends together, and it was really nice. But later on, my brothers did not enjoy it as much as me and my sister did. So they stopped.
Okay.
And me and my sister continued. We competed together.
Nice.
And just a few months ago, we competed as a family, my father and my sister and I.
What's
all
that
together. It was actually fun,
Yeah.
but my dad made a competition, who finishes ahead of the other gets a point and stuff. It was already very competitive.
Okay, I like that. Especially when you're all doing the same thing and you guys really have a passion for it. You have to be able to be at the highest level, right?
Yeah, of course. It's a very difficult sport and requires a lot of experience and track time, and you compete against the best of the best in Europe. One thing I like about racing is it's unpredictable. Even if you qualify first, anything can happen. So it's a very unpredictable sport.
Now, in racing, and you just mentioned it there now, the travel, the experiences, what has travel, and especially pre and post the pandemic, what has travel and experience added to your education and development?
So travel and experience, I get to do things all on my own. So I do the bookings on my own. I read the contracts on my own.
Okay.
Everything like from renting a car and everything, I look through the contract to see like what am I, supposed to pay, what am I supposed to not to pay.
Yeah.
And when I get into university, surprisingly, like I'd catch on pretty quickly. Like we start learning about contracts and I just, got the hang of it immediately amongst all my classmates.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a big learning experience when you do things on your own and travel on your own and you're in a sport. I feel like you gain a lot of more experience like through life, not through education in a way, the education of life.
Yeah, so, I like that. She's wise. Another thing, I have to give a special shout out to my wife, Maria, who also sent me your profile, I think a year ago. She said, Omar, you have to get this woman on your show. And yesterday when she saw your post up on my Instagram, she said, she's coming on the show. And I said, let's hope. Let's just hope she makes it. And you did make it, and it's fantastic. And if you liked what you saw, guys, remember you can catch all of our episodes on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud if you like a podcast, or if you prefer a visual and you want to see our spectacular guest right here, head over to our YouTube channel, Pulse 95 Radio, and she's there live in the flesh on YouTube on Pulse 95 Radio. We're going to take a quick break. If you thought that was good, oh my God, wait till after the break. We'll be right back on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95. Here's some Shweya by Freak.
This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. It's the halftime show with Omar Adori. I'm your host, cover everything sport, international and local. Boy, I told you that first segment was fire, and we're about to dive into it straight away. Now, Amna Al Qubaisi is on the show today, and Amna's been getting a lot of questions during the break. So you know what, Amna, I'm going to dive straight into it, and I'm going to ask you these questions that these fantastic people on the Instagram Live were asking. One, where is it? Yeah, what does she do for fun? Because you seem so mature for your age. What do you do for fun, Amna?
The usual, going out with friends. I like to take, my dad's cars and just, I'm not allowed to say it, but like enjoy the roads and go for very nice cruises.
There's a disclaimer on that one. Are we allowed to ask you what cars? Because when you're a racer, you just have a different knowledge on cars.
Yeah.
So we're allowed to ask you what cars you just be happening to, take out for a stroll?
Yeah, it's I take my dad's SF90 Ferrari.
Okay.
It's a hybrid.
Okay.
The thing is, like, I used to take his G63. It was my favorite because it's so comfortable.
Yeah.
But he has a speed tracker in it. So one time, so he knows like when I speed and where I speed.
Right.
Yeah. So every time like I go probably like over the speed limit, he'd give me a call and he's like, "Why are you going fast? Where are you going?"
When you see Dad calling on that phone, you must be thinking, where is he?
I'm like, how do you know? He's like, I know everything.
That's awesome. They're also asking you, any pre-race rituals do you have?
Yeah, pre-race rituals. I always listen to Linkin Park.
Okay.
The main song is Castle of Glass. That's like always the song I listen to before I enter the car. I hug my mom before I jump in the car, and I jump in the car from the right side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the hug your mom part. My mom's listening right now, Fatima. She's going to now ask for a hug every time we get in the car. Because of you, Amna. Maria asked, what does she do lock-in before the race? What does she do lock-in before the race? So I think, do you have a certain, apart from obviously the ritual, do you have a certain thing that you listen to? You said Linkin Park, but is it always Linkin Park, or do you switch it up depending on your mood? Or
Yeah, I switch it up depending on my mood. Sometimes I just get sick of Linkin Park because it's repetitive. So I just put anything that's similar to it, like rock, something that keeps your heart racing.
Yeah. And speaking about your heart racing, Ali from the UK is asking, how does she balance hydrating pre-workout and not overdoing it?
Ooh,
that's a good question, huh?
Yeah, it's a good question. So for us, we our team always recommends electrolytes in our drink.
Yeah.
So because we can't drink during the race, and it's a 45-minute race. So we drink a lot of water with electrolytes.
Okay.
And then we go for that 45-minute race. And then we come back in the pits. We still can't drink water. We have to get weighed. So we wait like 10 minutes. We get weighed, and then we can drink water.
Okay.
So it's really important to get any like powder that has electrolytes. Yeah, it's really helpful.
Another question here, which you actually segued right into perfectly. Can she tell us more about her team? Now, all these people that are helping you get in the right frame of mind, physically and mentally. Can you tell us more about your team?
Yeah, so I'm with an Italian team called Prema Power Team, and they have a lot of drivers who made it to Formula One from their team. So Arthur Leclerc, Charles Leclerc. Arthur is his brother.
Right.
Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll. They're based in Italy, next to Venice. They're all Italians. They're very, very nice people, very supportive and outgoing. I've been with this team since I've started in single-seater. So since Formula 4, I've been with them.
Yeah. You mentioned that Formula 4. What's the difference for the listeners that are listening to you in terms of the different things you step into? So
Formula 4, it's a smaller car, less downforce, less physical for a new driver to come into the single-seater world. It runs through an A-Barth engine. That's the one I go in Formula 4 Italy. And then there's the Formula 3 Regional, which I was competing in. We have an Alfa Romeo engine, and it has more downforce. It's more physical. It's a heavier car, and the speed's a little tweaked. So yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, do you see her eyes when she talks about cars?
It goes big.
It's like, yeah, and there's this. I'm thinking, wow, you can see the passion there already. I want to ask you one last question before we take a break. How do you stay fit physically? I mean, that sounds pretty demanding physically. What do you do?
I do some kickboxing.
Okay.
So with my brother, it's really helpful, like for the shoulders and the neck. So we do some kickboxing, we do weightlifting and cardio, like biking or going out for a run, but not always, because I'm not a big fan of cardio. Okay. So yeah.
Okay, there you go. See, well, there's a lot more I want to ask you. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. I'm going to dive into the mental fitness side of her game, because I know the physical she's got on lock, the racing she's got on lock, but let's dive into the mental. And the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95. Don't go anywhere, folks.
This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. And you know what? The halftime show is flying by. I mean, it's like you're in a racetrack. I'm just saying, I had to throw it in there. I had to. Why? Because Amna Al Qubaisi is on the show here, live on Pulse 95 Radio in the heart of Sharjah. And the questions are flying in. But I want to ask her my questions as well, Maria. My wife is like asking her all sorts of questions. Instagram Live. Okay, if she had to pick a normal car to drive, what would it be?
Ooh, like sports car? Or?
I mean, it's only right I ask you if it's going to be sports, but no, I'll give you the choice. There's no rules here.
The Blackwing City 5V.
See what happened with her eyes again. She did it again. Okay, all right. And another thing, before the break, we were talking about the physical part. You do kickboxing, you work out with your brother, you get physically fit. But I want to dive into the mental side of things. And the reason why I want to do this is because a lot of the times we kind of oversee that, but it takes a lot of mental strength to do what you do. How do you stay mentally fit?
It's a really good question, because in the racing world, we do get into a lot of pressure. We always, lose confidence once in a while after an incident or, not doing well in a race weekend. So what I do, I have a mental coach. He can't really be on track during the pandemic, so I used to be on a Zoom call with him and I'd talk to him. So he would always helped me, gain my confidence back, put me back into this game.
Yeah.
And one time before my win in Formula 4, I used to talk to him and I was like, I'm really nervous. What if I don't do well? What if I crash or something happens?
Yeah.
And he would tell me pick an animal. What animal are you? And I told him I was a rhino.
Okay.
And he's and then he gave me all of the advice and everything. And after I won, he sent me rhino emojis.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Carlos.
Shout out to Carlos as well, man. Thank you for looking after the sister. That's amazing. I like that. There's a lot of things that happen in the mental side of the game, and a lot of doubt. Where does this doubt come from for someone that's so successful like yourself?
It could come, from, let's say, you're doing well and you're afraid of what people would say. So you're afraid of the judgment of others. You're afraid to be, to lose that confidence because people are comparing you to other drivers. Yeah. Which happens a lot. The fans, there are fans that are good, but sometimes they will just, put you down by comparing you and telling you you're not deserving to be on the track, you're not good enough, you're not doing well, without knowing how difficult and prestigious the championship is. So
how do you disconnect from that type of energy? Because your energy is really cool. Having you in the studio, I can tell that. But how do you disconnect from the other type of energy?
So I usually during a race weekend, I do not like to update, or even if I have to as a driver, to update, about my racing weekend, race weekend, how it went. I don't like to do that because I don't like to mention what I've done. To me, it's good. To other people, it's probably the worst achievement. So I just, let somebody, a PR of mine, to do all the posting, and I just delete it from my phone.
Right.
And I let them do all the posting, so I don't have to look through the messages and doubt myself and lose confidence.
Interesting. Do you social detox?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay. Wow. Okay. For someone that, again, I'm learning a lot about you as a person as well as a racer. And I think it's really important to give the racer a chance to be a person as well.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned mental coach. You've mentioned the type of different pressures. How do you reset?
Ooh, how I reset? For me, I just put my phone on airplane mode. I chill in my room. I invite some friends, close friends. Yeah. We watch a movie. We order some food, cheat food.
Okay. Anything. Now we're talking.
Yeah, any food I'd like.
Okay.
Watch a movie and just relax and disconnect from the world, basically.
What kind of movies we talking here?
Ooh.
Give me a couple.
I've watched so much, but I'm a big fan of Disney cartoons.
Okay. Okay, I see you now. Now we're talking. I'm not gonna judge you. What kind of Disney cartoons are we talking? I need to ask these questions here.
So Shrek, Madagascar.
The donkey.
Yeah, the donkey's my favorite.
Yeah, now we're talking. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then now we're talking about food. So you're there with your friends and family. What kind of food we getting?
Ooh, so we get sushi, pizza.
Okay.
I like the Italian pizza, with bresaola.
Yeah.
Which is the dried meat. I love that.
Okay. She's making me hungry. Okay. Okay. A question came in. How does she block out the noise? Very good, Maria. I asked her that. And how do you reset? Another thing. When you travel, I know you said you go to Italy quite a bit. Do you have an ideal destination to go and just be Amna?
Oh yeah, there's this place in Tuscany. So it's a place next to Mugello. Okay. The track I go to. It's there's a bridge, and under that bridge there's a river, and then a normal bridge side, and then I leave the road. I go through a parking spot, and you can see all the beautiful mountains and the hills and the river, and I just stay there to disconnect. It's pretty far, but amazing place. I actually found it by accident, and then that's my go-to place.
Just by the way you said bresaola, what's your Italian like?
I got the accent, but sometimes I'm not really good when it comes to like I've learned a few things.
Okay. I won't put you on the spot. Maybe during the break I will. But and then the last thing I wanted to ask you, is it hard, and people won't understand this unless they're in your shoes, is it hard to be normal?
The thing is, I'm always normal. So I don't know how to really say. It's a really good question because I've never been asked this before.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I always stay true to myself.
Yeah.
It's like with people in person, I do not show my this side of myself on social media.
Right.
Because social media is forever. So I'm only like this when I'm talking to people or when I'm around people.
I told you she's good. I said it. Last one before we take a break. How do you stay so grounded?
Ooh. Let's say I've met a celebrity before, and I felt like when I was trying to get a photo with a celebrity, I felt ashamed because they had no time for me and they were very stubborn.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I ever do reach that point in my life, I wouldn't want anybody else to feel what I felt in that position.
Awesome. What a way to end that segment. Okay, I'm going to play you some Khalid, My Bad. And then after that, we're going to bring her back for a final segment. Man, that flew by. All right, guys, don't go anywhere and stay tuned on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95.
This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. And I can't believe it's almost full time on the halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio. Now, if you do like the episode, head over to our YouTube channel, Pulse 95 Radio, and check out the fantastic guests that we have, like Amna Al Qubaisi, who's come down here from Abu Dhabi to the heart of Sharjah to actually represent. And I have to say, and I've done a lot of episodes on the halftime show, over 450 episodes. I have to say, this is up there with one of my favorites, merely for the fact that I really got to know someone through radio that I probably wouldn't have on a normal day out. And I think my wife, who's come out of social detox just to be online now, to watch her, is saying exactly the same thing. Amna, you've been terrific. Thank you for taking the time out to be on the show. You recently had an event, and you did a talk at the Dubai, the Palm.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so the W event hosted an event called What She Said, and this year was Women in Sports.
Okay.
So me alongside other 3 amazing women, Amna Al Haddad, Raha, and Ivana. Hearing their stories, hearing them share their, ups and downs, their challenges. It's like a guide for those who might be going through the same experience. They will already, have that guide to what they should do, where they should go. So it was really, really nice and probably one of my favorite events.
And do you get nervous? I mean, it's a different type of nervous, but do you get nervous being in front of people? It doesn't seem like you would be.
Actually, I am.
Really?
Yeah. If I have to talk and I'm the center of attention.
Yeah.
That's when I start stuttering and I don't know what to say, and I just, I just stay quiet.
Yeah. She hasn't stuttered once, by the way. On radio, it's been flawless. She hasn't stuttered once. Is it a different kind of nerves to when do you get nervous when you're racing?
Actually, no. When I'm racing, when we're on the grid before the lights turn off, and that's the start of the race, that's when I get nervous.
Right.
Because there's a lot of cars on grid, and you don't know what could happen. Someone could stall, someone could, have a better start than you. So it's like the survival 3-second moment.
Yeah. There's something else. The way your brain processes through fight or flight is very interesting, especially as a racer. Do you practice things like breath work or meditation or anything like that? I'm really intrigued about that because of the line of work that you do. Do you practice stuff like that?
Yeah, my dad recommends meditation for me because I usually get really I get like irritated and upset pretty quickly on track.
Right.
So he's like, you need to like meditate.
Yeah.
After the race,
yeah.
Take some time off. We also do a lot of reflex exercises before the race. So like with a tennis ball, we have our trainer, he throws it somewhere and we have to we're facing the wall and he throws the ball behind us against the wall and we have to try and catch it.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
People are thinking, what are they doing? I was actually the hand signature. She's like, yeah, that one. Okay. And what about things like ice baths? Do you do any of that?
Ooh, ice baths. No, I'm.
She said that cold.
No, because I get cold pretty quickly. I can't stand the cold.
Right.
So no, never.
Okay. We need to try and figure out a way to connect her with the Iceman. That would be an experience and a half. Okay, that's something. And then the other thing I was going to say, do you race in the UAE or is it just abroad?
I did race in the UAE.
Okay.
We have this championship called F3 Asia.
Okay.
So they host it in Yas Marina and Dubai from January to February.
Okay.
And it's pretty successful. All the drivers from Europe come and they had a grid of 45 drivers.
Wow. So that's only in January and Feb?
Yeah.
So I have to come watch you next January, next Feb?
Yeah, you're invited.
All right, got it. Yes. Okay. And then another thing I wanted to ask you is where can we follow you? Listen, I follow already. I'm just saying. But where can we follow you on social media?
So I have an Instagram, Amna Al Qubaisi _official.
Yep.
I have a Snapchat, Amna.alqubaisi8, and the Twitter, Amna_Al Qubaisi with 2 I's in the end.
Okay, fantastic. I have to say, thank you so much for coming. It was so much fun, and I really appreciate that you came down and really represented in such a good light. It means a lot to us. Shout out to your family, and if I can say Khadija as well. I'm not sure if she's in the background somewhere, and Nadia as well. Thank you guys very much for coming down here today. Did you enjoy your experience on the halftime show?
I love it. Please bring me back next time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. We said this before. You had a talk recently at the W Dubai. Is there anything else happening soon? Do you have any more talks to any races coming up?
Yeah, actually, we're planning to do some European rounds this season, and yeah, probably we're not sure when. It's still unconfirmed, but very soon. Okay, fantastic. Well, make sure you follow her, and she'll be updating all of that on her social media. It's full time. Here's the whistle. On the halftime show, we've had a fantastic time. Remember, you catch us every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4 UAE time. Amna, you've been an absolute gem. Thank you so much. Thank you.
If you liked this episode of The Halftime Show, drop a like and subscribe. 95. Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.